What's up guys, it's Airstuff FPV here, and in this video I'll be going through the Walksnail Avatar HD system and try it out on the field. Thank you Cadex FPV for allowing me to fly with the first HD system I ever use on my FPV airplanes. Unlike traditional analog FPV where image responses are instant but limited by quality, the Walksnail system allows HD quality at 60 frames per second to be streamed with minimal latencies. The result would be a significantly cleaner image by improved detail and a more immersive and vivid flying experience. So inside the box we have the lightweight goggles which fit quite comfortably over the head. With the goggles come the power cable, documentation, a storage bag and a cleaning cloth. The goggles can be powered up to 24 volts by the power cable with an XT60 connector to be used with any LiPo or lithium-ion battery you have laying around. All the settings of your goggles and transmitter are changed with the buttons on the right side of the goggles. And here's the heart of the HD system. It is responsible for transmitting HD video from the aircraft back to the goggles with low latencies and high image quality from 25 milliwatts to 700 milliwatts of transmitting power. The goggles and the Avatar transmitter both have SD card slots for onboard recording, but one thing to note for your goggle footage is to install the Walksnail LSD tool program on your PC that merges two separate files into the video files and apply the flight controller parameters you saw through the goggles and compress it into a new video file. So if you're bored flying through an analog FPV feed, the Walksnail HD system is your absolute go-to for your first HD experience. So to fly my first HD FPV flight, I took the Silver Owl flying wing from the shelf and updated the firmware of the flight controller. Then I added the necessary peripherals to my chosen UART ports on the flight controller, and at last went to the OSD tab in the configurator to change some settings there as well. And after I had everything done in the configurator, I then installed the HD system above the nose and added a panning servo for the camera, which is terrible, but simply because adding the GM3 gimbal requires precision work with no room for error. So this means I'll temporarily fly in this current setup on the flying wing before I'll be trying to install the GM3 gimbal on a different FPV platform permanently. With the INF9 firmware, I waited for the motor to start itself up by a delayed timer and threw it into the extreme headwind. Unlike the airplane struggling into the headwind and the vibrations being visibly seen through the stream, I was really enjoying the much more immersive feed. I had set the transmitting power to 350 milliwatts as I planned to not go far for the first few flights to see if everything worked as it should with the new firmware. I of course made good use of the panning servo while flying over the canal beneath and observed the farms and fields on the sides of it. As I was approaching the 3rd kilometer, I had my patch antenna probably not aimed right at the plane anymore, which triggered failsafe return to home to take over the plane and fly it back. The HD stream increased its bitrate and held on strong by maintaining the 30 to 37 millisecond latency. For maintaining a better bitrate as well, I should need to orient the two antennas upwards like I see on any other long-range aircraft using the same system. And after that successful flight, I moved to a spot besides a lake I frequently visited in long-range FPV and didn't know I would encounter some GPS issues during the flight. While loitering over the lake, the GPS started to act weird and eventually stated 0 satellites. I had no clue why it happened and thought to stay close, and after some minutes by the same problem, the altitude and speed parameters stopped working as well. Back home, I thought to swap the UART cables and saw that the same live feed popped up without any issue, which meant I could have reversed the UART cables into the flight controller, causing this weird behavior. So I'll be waiting for calmer weather and will then see if I solve the problem. But to sum the first HD flights up, I definitely get how some folks never go back to analog FPV because flying HD is a whole nother FPV experience. I've linked the set down in the description and stay tuned for HD FPV flights coming your way soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.